So, there is no limit to the number of alternatives you can list. So we can include any number of alternatives: flood, earthquake, hurricane, coal fire. So which we were trying to match any kind of disaster that happened. So you can see all the strings that matches. We have not a whole lot of hurricanes in the Arctic. We do have earthquakes nearly every day somewhere in our state. Hurricanes whirl in the other direction. Cold fire is straight because we keep getting earthquakes. So all these sentences have any of the four strings: flood, earthquake, hurricane, cold fire. So that's the reason we are trying to get all these four characters, all these four strings out of the feed that is coming from. Even more alternatives I want to bring into this. So, and not just literals, I want to bring real expressions that so you are trying to extract any sentence that starts with good or bad, and the sentence may start with a capital letter or a small letter. So I've given G followed by G, the GG, which means any of the character G or G is allowed, and any of the character B or B is allowed. So this will match the lines. So for examples, so good to hear some good news coming from someone here. Good afternoon, fellow American infidels. Good on you. What do you drive? KD guess they had bad experience. My middle name is Trouble is bad news. So here you have got a sentence good to hear, good afternoon, followed by good, good, and here got bad here and bad here. So what is the reason for us? The start symbol. It's actually looking for the first set of expressions. The start, the exponential symbol will tell you the sentences that start with good alone and not bad. This R has limited this limited this exponential to be used only for good, and this bad is not limited by it. So that's the reason we are getting the bad experiences when bad news in the next set of characters. And so now till now we have used or. So next we can start using and. So, sub expressions are often contained in parentheses to constrain the alternatives. For example, so this sub expression, this exponential symbol, the previous example, we saw exponential symbol followed by good and followed by r. For example, this. So here, this exponential symbol was, forget the exponential, this is a start. Remember it as start. So it is related only to this, and any sentence which has bad will come in. So that's the reason this sentence, even though it didn't start with bad, but it had bad, the word bad in the sentence, and that's the reason you're getting this. Same way this sentence also. Now, if I want to find a sentence which starts with good or bad both, either way, so I'll get sentences only that starts with either good or bad. For example, bad habit, bad coordination today. Good because there is nothing worse than a man, and bad cop, it's because people want to use drugs. Good Monday holiday, good riddance to limey. So these are sentences that will help you understand the usage of the start symbol followed by parenthesis. This parenthesis, which means the entire start symbol is applied to both. So more what meta characters. So what is this question mark? So the question mark is actually something that indicates, it's a meta character that indicates that the indicated expression is optional. For example, George W in bracket, square bracket, and followed by dot. Bush will match the lines. So this meta character question mark will ignore this Bush, George W Bush. So in this you'll have uh, the sentences, I bet I can spell better than you and George Bush combined, which means George Bush here doesn't have W, which means this the entire case is optional. So BBC reported that President George W. Bush claimed God told him to invade Iraq. So this W Bush is also coming here. A bird in the hand is worth two George Bushes. So again, you are getting sentences which doesn't have W. So which means that the question mark here is used uh, to remove, I mean, to give optional sentences that needs to be extracted. So There is one thing to note here in the following. So we wanted to match a dot as a literal period. To do that, we had to use that slash escape. The reason I use the slash, which means it tells you that we saw earlier the dot used for any character that can be filled in. So dot is also a meta character which significantly in which indicates that any kind of character can be filled in. So to denote that here in this sentence the dot is actually a dot, we need to use the escape sequence slash. So this meta character dot is actually becoming a character itself. So to do that we had to use the slash escape, the meta character preceding it with the backslash in general. We have to do this for any meta character. Forget dot, you should use the slash escape sequence for any meta character, so that we want to include the match. I wanted to find a match for dot, that's the reason I used a slash. So there are much more meta characters in the uh, R programming language. What are those? Like star and plus.